Today, Rosh Chodesh Av, is a significant day for a variety of reasons. Of course, it's Rosh Chodesh, and every Rosh Chodesh brings with it incredible possibility, incredible promise, new opportunities, new beginnings. This Rosh Chodesh is a little bit different, of course, as we know, because also it represents the beginning of the 9 days. Difficulty, a chapter of tragedy, of sadness, of overwhelming heartbrokenness over the last 2,000 years of calamity, catastrophe, and difficulty for Klal Yisrael. But today, Rosh Chodesh Av is also unique for a different reason, for it is the Yartzheit of Aharon, the anniversary of the death of Aharon. Interestingly enough, one of the only Yartzites that's explicit in the Torah itself, which is quite fascinating. And the Sas Emes says that it's not an accident, it's not a coincidence that Aharon went ahead and left this world on Rosh Chodesh Av. And it's almost as if HaKadosh Baruch Hu is giving us a message that as we enter into these 9 days, as we enter into this period again of mourning and difficulty, it is important for us to really inculcate within ourselves the midos, the character traits, the behaviors, and the approach to life of Aharon, of the high priest Aaron. And we know again, so what was Aaron's approach to life? We have this in Pirkei Avos, in the first chapter of Pirkei Avos. So again, the Mishnah says, Hillel says, Hevi mitalmidav shel Aaron, be of the disciples of Aaron. Ohev shalom, rodev shalom, love peace, pursue peace. Ohev es habrios umekarven laTorah, love people and bring them closer to Torah. And it's interesting. So we all know this midah of Aaron. Midah of Aaron is the kind of person who just is a person of shalom. Whereas Moshe Rabbeinu had to be the man of din, had to be the man of justice, Aaron had the ability to be the person of shalom, the person of peace, the person of compromise. But what is it that Hillel is trying to tell us when he tells us be of the disciples of Aaron? And I want to share with you 2 insights. Number one, if you notice something very interesting, the Mishnah says, what does it mean to be a disciple of Aaron? Love peace and pursue peace. So isn't that contradictory? I shouldn't say contradictory, redundant. Right? I understand, love peace, be a person of peace. And so beautifully, the Maharal explains something so incredible. He explains, normal people are Ohev Shalom. People love peace. You have people who love to fight, but that's not normal. That's the aberration. Normal, regular, run-of-the-mill people love peace. But what it means to be a disciple of Aaron is to be a rodev shalom, to run after peace. You see, the interesting part about shalom in our relationships is that shalom doesn't kind of show up and nestle itself by your feet. Shalom doesn't show up at your doorstep. If you want shalom, if you want peace in life, if you want peace in your relationships, more often than not, you have to run after it. And what happens so often in life is people say, oh, of course, I want shalom. I'm ready for shalom. And if shalom comes to me, if shalom presents itself, absolutely, I'm willing to accept it. But that's not what it means to be a disciple of Aaron. To be a disciple of Aaron means someone who's willing to run after shalom. And running after shalom is often very difficult, because sometimes running after shalom requires me to humble myself. And running after shalom sometimes requires me to accept blame even when I'm not at fault. And running after shalom sometimes means being willing to overlook the infractions or shortcomings of others in order to go ahead and create an everlasting sense of peace. That's what it means to be a Talmud, to be a disciple of Aaron. Don't just love peace, but run after it. A lot of times in life we have fractured relationships. And the truth is, it could be that the other party is totally at fault. It's possible. And the truth is, whereas I'm willing to forgive, I'm unwilling to go ahead and initiate any contact. I'm unwilling to initiate any type of healing in the relationship. And the greatness of Aaron, whose Yartzheit is today, is the ability to not just love peace, but to run after it. But there's one more piece. The Baal HaTanya, Rav Shner Zalman of Liadi, points out something very interesting. The Mishnah continues, and the Mishnah says, Ohev es habrios. Love people. Love people. The midah of Aaron is Aaron loved people. So what's interesting is, how do you love people? How do you come to a profound love of people? And the Baal HaTanya says, by finding something positive within every single individual. But you'll say, maybe sometimes somebody doesn't have any positive qualities, doesn't have any positive traits. So the Baal HaTanya says something amazing. The word in the Mishnah that's used for people is brios. Brios is like the most nondescript name for a person. In fact, a bria doesn't even just have to refer to a person. A bria is a creation, can refer to anything. But brios is the most generic term that you could find to describe people. And the Baal HaTanya says something so beautiful. He says, sometimes the only positive thing you could find about a person is that they walk on 2 legs instead of 4. But you know what? At least that's a start. At least you found something positive. You walk on 2 legs instead of 4. Shkoyach, shkoyach. I found something positive. I found something that's good. At least it's a start. And if we bring this all together, we understand what it means to be a disciple of Aharon. To be a Talmud of Aharon HaKohen is to be the kind of person who doesn't just love peace, but is willing to pursue peace. To be the kind of person, ultimately, again, who tries to see the good in other people. And today, the Yartzheit of Aharon HaKohen, today, Rosh Chodesh Av, is when we have to recommit ourselves to becoming his disciples. All of us have signed on to the Civility Pledge. All of us are part of this important, simple, yet important movement. And we know sometimes I'm in line with the pledge, sometimes I'm not in line with the pledge, some days are better than others. But so much of heightening, or I should say amplifying the level of civility within our lives is becoming a disciple of Aharon. If I become the kind of person who runs after peace, I value shalom so much that I don't just relish it when it comes to me, but I go after it. I desire civility so much that I'm going to go out of my way to find something positive in every single human being. If I can do that, then I increase the civility in myself, in my family, in my home, in my community. But just as importantly, I can have the honor of saying that I am a disciple, I am a student of Aharon HaKohen. Wishing everyone a wonderful day, a good Chodesh, and a good Shabbos.